I'll wait for you guys to come back in, man. Yeah, I tried to be quick. Bro, I don't know why they always do that to me. As soon as you start talking healthy, oh, let's shut you down. Sorry, just opening up something real quick. Yo, these guys, these it's just pure like cherry juice. Pure cherry juice. Non-concentrate. These hit the spot. I'll certainly hit you up, brother. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Let me wait for like a few more minutes. People come back in. I don't know why they stay messing with my live streams. Hello. But I was saying there isn't a covenant with Noah to boil flesh or and pour out meat if we do eat meat. There isn't a covenant with Noah to boil. Isn't there a covenant with Noah to boil flesh and pour out the blood if we do eat meat? Oh, I mean, yeah, there is. I mean, that's how we're supposed to. But you know, I mean, honestly, like, I don't even have to. Like, we just don't have to eat it. Like, if you want to eat lamb on the Passover, I mean, that's up to you, and that's fine. But other than that, like, you don't need to eat it. I've done a lot of research on, like, on our bodies. Our bodies are not made like carnivores. They're made like the same way how the vegetarian or herbivore animals are. You know, they're made like that. So it only makes sense. And plus, if you read the Essene Gospels, it pretty much goes over all you need to know about what live food does to you rather than quote unquote dead food. But yeah, like, fruit is one of the watchers for a reason, guys. It's one of the watchers for a reason. Just try it. If you don't believe me, try it for a week. See how you feel. In fact, don't try it for only a week. Try it for like 2 weeks, because your body's gonna like detox like the first week. But after that, you're gonna feel really good. Peace, bro. Peace. Thank you for stopping by or coming back. All right, let's start. Let's begin. We ain't gonna let them stop us, slow us down. So, when you are treating clients or helping people in your environment, you often read their energy. You intuitively tune into them when you listen to them and give them advice or treat them with energetic healing methods. However, the client or person you are working with is just as busy reading you. Just like you are tuning into their energy, they are consciously, subconsciously absorbing your energy. They intuitively feel whether or not what you say and do is in accordance with all of you, whether it is matched by what you radiate, your energy vibration. They feel who you are apart from your words and actions. And this is why, guys, this is why you have to stand on your own too. Stand on your mountain and never move from your mountain. You have to know that you're light. You can't just think that you're light. You have to know that you're light, because that's the other missing piece. When you do that, then people will actually respect what you're saying. When you don't move, people will respect you, right? You must stand in your power and do not compromise evil. So, because people, they're trying to pretty much see if you are about it, if you are who you say you are. And even if you don't say that you are, you're showing who you are with your actions. Like, oh, like, okay, you are acting like a good guy, but let me see how good you are. Because if you're really a good guy, then what I do shouldn't bother you. Now, that's a childish way to look at it. It's a messed up thing to do, but that's just what people do. They call it sugar honey iced tea testing. That's just what they do. They do that to people, you know? When I first came into the truth, I went through a superfood stage and it felt amazing. I had a lot more control over my own flesh and spirit, but funds diminished. I want to get back to that point. Yeah, bro, like I've been there, bro, and I'm still kind of there, but you know, like, I mean, fruit can be expensive, and it also depends where you get it. Like, fruit is it's a tricky subject because, especially where a lot of our people live, it's almost like you never want to buy fruit from those stores because they literally will spoil it as soon as you bring them home. Like, that's how bad the fruit is. You kind of have to go to, like, you know, the white people stores and stuff like that. You kind of have to get a little bit creative with how you do it. But, you know, when there's a will, there's a way. There's a way. And I believe that you'll get back to it. I definitely will. I mean, I definitely do. If you can combine like fruit with, like, I don't know, like eating like amaranth or quinoa. Just buy some of that stuff and just eat it with fruit. And you should be good. You should be really good with nutrition. Might want to switch it up every once in a while, buy different fruits, but you really could survive off of that and you'll feel pretty good. But let's continue. Let me see. So yeah, people are constantly reading your energy too, right? They're trying to see if you're as good of a person as they put you in their head as. Because they're essentially pedestalizing you, but at the same time, they're trying to tear you down. And you can't be teared down if you have a strong sense of self. So again, guys, it's very important that, one, you heal yourself, and two, you lock yourself. You have to heal yourself, put yourself in, you know, that treasure chest, and then lock the treasure chest. Do not let anyone go into your treasure chest. Do not let anyone tear you down from your mountain. Don't do it. People will do it. I know that. I'm speaking from experience. People will do it. Don't let them do it. And I live in a damn food desert. Few options in my area, but you're right, there is a way. Yeah, bro. Food deserts are terrible, bro. That's the one thing, like, I can't really complain about with New York. Like, anyway, yeah. Namaste, everyone. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Thank you for stopping by, sister. Peace and blessings. Much love to you. It is in the reading of you by the client that the real breakthrough occurs. When the client feels free and safe in your presence, when they feel surrounded by a type of consciousness that empowers them to trust their inner knowing, then everything you say or do takes on a healing quality. When your words and actions are backed up by who you are, they become the carriers of light and love that can take the client into the core of their own light and love. And let me say one more thing. When you stand on the mountain and you can't be moved, you're replicating the Most High, because it's the same thing that people do to him. You know, they misunderstand him. They accuse him. They think, God did this, God did that. You know, he does this, he does that, and he's not doing any of it. But he's not about to, like, come down off of his mountain and try to prove you wrong. No, he's just gonna be righteous. He knows he's righteous. He knows he's this. And he's just gonna stay there and be it. So when people can tear you down, that's when they pretty much they're able to say that, oh, well, there's actually nothing really wrong with me, right? But when you can't be teared down, that forces them to change. It really does. Like, it's deep. Ecclesiastes chapter 41, verse 15. A man that hideth his foolishness is better than a man that hideth his wisdom. Oh my gosh, that's a great verse. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 4. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not thy place. for yielding pacifieth great offenses. Great precept, bro. Great precept. Great precept, bro. Appreciate that. Great precept. Let me turn the page. Whew. Whenever someone honestly asks for your help, this person is open to your energy in such a way that they can be touched by the purest and cleanest part of you. This part of you does not stem from the books you read or the skills you have learned. It is the result of a personal alchemy, a personal transformation of consciousness that bears your unique hallmark. I would like to strongly emphasize this, as there seems to be a tendency among light workers, people who by their nature feel a strong urge to help others, to keep searching for a new book, a new method, a new ability that can help one to be a better teacher or healer. True healing is this simple. When I have lived on this earth, I conveyed a certain energy with my eyes. Something flowed out of my eyes that I had an immediate healing effect on the people who were open to it. There was no magic trick or some unique skill I owed. I was in touch with my inner source of truth. Naturally, I radiated the divine light and love that were my heritage. Just like they were your heritage, I touched other living beings with it. It is the same with you. You are no different from me. You have walked in the same inner road and gone through the same trials and sorrows to eventually get to the same point as I did when I lived on earth. You are all becoming conscious Christ beings, the Christ energy in your spiritual destiny. And you are gradually integrating this energy into your day-to-day existence. It is this within you who often you still identify yourself with being the apprentice or the pupil who sits at the feet of a teacher and listens and acts and searches. But I am telling you that the time of being a pupil is over. It is time to claim your mastership. It is time to trust the Christ within you and bring this energy to manifestation in your daily life. To become one with the Christ within and to teach and heal from that energy, you will need to let go of a number of things. These things represent the pitfalls on the road to become a healer/teacher. I'll differentiate these 3 areas which these pitfalls occur. Hello, what's going on? What's going on? Give me 1 second, guys. I have to take a little bit of a drink. Kind of parched out here. The first pitfall lies in the area of your head or the mind. You're very adept at analyzing things and categorizing them according to some general frame of reference. This might be handy in some circumstances, but in general, the mental thinking part of you is very much a part of the world of duality. With the world of duality, I mean a type of consciousness that divides things into good or bad, light or dark, healthy or sick, masculine or feminine, friend or foe, etc. It is a type of consciousness that loves to separate and label, that does not recognize the underlying unity of all phenomena. It is a type of consciousness that likes to work with general principles and a rational, objective application to individual cases. It does not like to consider the possibility of another, much more direct approach to reality, the approach of intuitive knowing or knowing by feeling, aka is called cognitive dissonance. And the mind, it likes to rationalize things and pretty much keep it into a certain box that's edible, that's easy to process. But you're really doing yourself a great disservice, I should say, when you're not using your intuitive mind. Now, of course, your intuitive mind has to then be rationalized, but it goes back to the example that I gave about using passion. You don't build yourself off of passion, but you still use it, because if you don't have any passion, you'll have a cold house, right? You don't make your house out of fire. You don't make your house out of, firewood and fire. Like, No, you used firewood and fire to light to pretty much keep you warm in your house. And you could say it's the same thing with being intuitive. If you're only intuitive, you're going to be all over the place. But if you're rationalizing your intuition, that's when you can pretty much hone it and focus it. But you really cannot base yourself off of rationale, because at that point, you're going to be very hard-headed and stubborn. And that's not how we want to be. I know that this just said that we put things into terms that we can understand. So this might be a little bit ironic, but the intuitive nature is more quote unquote feminine in nature. And the more rational is more quote unquote masculine in nature, right? In this situation, we want to pretty much have the intuitiveness as a base and then build rationale on top of it. That's kind of what we have to do. Now, that's not always the case. Sometimes that those roles are reversed, but just understand what I'm trying to say. Like, they need each other. You can't have one or the other. You kind of have to have a bit of both. And it depends on the situation, right? So let's keep reading. The Christ energy is outside of duality. The Christ energy constitutes the flow of being that underlies all polarities. But the mind does not recognize the very existence of this mystical level of oneness. The mind would like to split up the ocean of being into definitive parts, categorizing it in such a way that it can get a rational grip on it. The mind likes to design structures, theories that can be placed over reality, over direct experience. Again, this is sometimes useful and beneficial, especially in practical matters, but not so much when it comes to true healing and teaching from the heart. And that's why I also say, guys, let the earth be your foundation. Do not let any book be your foundation. You can use the book on top of the earth. Like, you have to understand the earth and then use the book, pretty much. I'm not saying throw away the book, and that's also what I'm trying to say regarding like intuition and rationale. The intuition is the earth. The rationale is the quote unquote Bible, I suppose, or any of these books. And that's what you kind of have to do. You will know what is good in any book or anything that is beyond the intuition if you understand the intuition, right? But you have to understand what is the source. The source is the heart. If that is your foundation, it's very hard for you to be wrong, right? Because the heart is not something that is easily defined. The heart is erratic. The heart is on a spectrum. It's not dichotomous. It's not this or that. No, the heart is on a spectrum. The heart is unpredictable. When you follow your heart, things that you do don't make sense sometimes, but it's right. And you just have to trust the fact that it's right. And then when you pretty much follow your heart and then you rationalize what's in your heart, then things make sense. And you're like, oh, now I understand why the Most High led me to this. See, and that's when you come to those realizations, right? So let me see. When you approach your client from a theoretical framework, you try to place their individual symptoms into a general category. Hold on, the car is passing by. And you look to the theory to find out about this type of problem and solutions to it. Let me just start again. Let me just cross, because I don't know if you guys can hear. Okay, let me just start over. When you approach your client from a theoretical framework, you try to place their individual symptoms into a general category, and you look to the theory to find out about this type of problem and solutions to it. This is what you learn when you are trained to be a psychologist, social worker, any type of professional counselor. I'm not saying that all that is wrong, but but what I would like to ask of you is this: when you're working with someone, whether professionally or in your personal life, try to let go of all your thoughts and reasonings, all of your presumptions about what is the matter with the other, and simply listen from your heart. Tune into the other person's energy from a silent place within. Just try to feel with your heart and intuition where the other person is standing, what it feels like to be in their inner world. See? How you doing? How you doing? That's what it takes. It takes empathy. It doesn't take you pretty much trying to diagnose someone through a book. No, it's literally just listening to them. It's like, you know, like touching each other's consciousness, right? Touching them from a soul level, understanding, like you can kind of understand someone by simply just like feeling them, right? I don't know. Maybe not everyone's like that though, or maybe some people are stronger than others at that. I'm not sure, but I do know that that's how it is for me, right? I can really listen to someone and I don't know exactly what they've went through, but I can feel what they went through. I can feel what they're feeling, right? And that's what you have to do to be a really good healer, or someone who's able to really, understand people from that level, right? To be able to give a proper solution. If I could give a music example for anyone who like does music and stuff like that, music, it moves in a wave of like that, like, up, down, like, I don't know what you call it, like a wave. I don't know, I'm blanking out. But when it's recorded through technology, it has to be put in boxes pretty much. Like inside the waves, it has to be put in boxes, and the smaller the box, the higher the bit. But at the end of the day, they're still being put in boxes. So you're going to miss the circular parts because a box is not going to fit within a circular part. And that's sort of how these definitions work. When you memorize a trillion diagnostic definitions of what a problem can be, I mean, you're still not going to know exactly what the problem is. And that's why I said it's better to tune yourself to something that's infinite, on an infinite wave, which is what the heart is. It is an infinite wave. A book is not infinite. A book is finite. Books in general are finite. Your teachers are living. Your teachers are alive. Life is not finite. Life is infinite. You understand? Often, you foster a lot of ideas about what someone else needs to do to solve their problems. You analyze the problem and you think up the answer to it. Turning the page. And you may even be largely right in your thinking. But the point is, your ideas are not necessarily attuned to the energy of the other person in the now moment. You might be completely out of touch with how they actually feel inside. Your help is only fruitful when it is attuned to the energetic reality of the one you are helping. It might be that he or she needs a wholly different approach than you can fathom with your rational mind. And it's so true because you can see that, all right, well, I can't even think of an example. You can see that someone is sick, right? And you'll say, well, you're sick because of this. Now, in your mind, you're thinking, well, after they're sick, after I tell them how to pretty much like heal themselves, they should be fine. But the problem can be literally deeper. It can be literally like, well, I would be able to heal myself if I was in this position, or if I learned how to not get sick again. Sometimes it's just deeper than what they're literally saying. And for you to be able to know that, you have to kind of connect with them on a soul level, for you to really dig deep for them, because sometimes it's hard to articulate feelings. Some people are better than others, and some people aren't good at it at all, you know? So for you to be able to, you know, help someone else truly, you have to be in tune with them, in tune with their wave. Slow down your frequency or raise your frequency to theirs and match theirs, and then you can understand, okay, this is the problem. It's not that they want to know how to get better. They want to know how they can pretty much like heal their whole situation or come to grips with their whole situation. Because maybe they're sick because they just live in a bad environment and they don't know if that's the reason why they're sick. Or they think that they're upset because someone stepped on their shoes, but they're really upset because they just live in the area that they live in. Something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Now you're spending hours telling them how to kung fu fight when all they really need to do is get out the area. Maybe they don't want to kung fu fight. Maybe they don't want to solve the problem like that, you know? The music analogy reminds me of Guitar Hero. I mean, that's like a music producing thing, I suppose. Hold on, just taking a little drink break. I don't know if you guys do this, but probably not because I'm weird. But when the birds like makes that noise where it's like, like I try to like time it. Oh, and then if I miss it, it's like, damn, but I try to time it. I don't know. I just be doing that for fun while I'm outside. But anyway, let me see. Where was I? And you may, oh yeah, I think I already read that. I invite you to see and feel the other person purely from the still, intuitive place inside you. Allow yourself to transcend duality and be filled with the compassion of the Christ within. I invite you to really be inspired by the presence of the other when you offer them teaching and healing. So yeah, that's also what allows you to really even touch their consciousness, is compassion for them. You have compassion for them because you're trying to understand them. You're not trying to literally heal them. You heal them by understanding them. That's how they're healed, when they feel heard. You heal them by letting them feel heard. That's the true healing. You don't heal them with the objective to heal them, because after they're heard, they might not be healed, but they might be on the pathway to heal themselves. They just want to be heard. They want to be understood. So we have to focus on being compassionate to other people and understanding truly where they're coming from. That's a playful interaction with nature. Beautiful thing. Thank you, bro. Or like something I would always do, I mean, not always, but one thing I'll also do, like when the bird would do that, I would just be like, thank you, Mother Earth. Like as soon as like the bird would like do that squawking, I would just say it, and I would just do it. Like I would just stand there or sit there and do it. Like as soon as the bird squawks, I'd be like, thank you, Mother. Squawk. Thank you, Father. Squawk. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. A playful interaction indeed. But anyway, let's continue. The solution is then often very simple. What is needed from you is not your knowledge, but your wisdom. What is asked of you is not your judgment, but your compassion and deep understanding. You are not there to provide the solution, to be the face of authority. You are there to be the face of love. This is so true. You're not there to solve their issue. You're there to understand their issue. Because if you can understand it, then they feel like they can understand it, and then they feel like they can solve it. Because inherently, you're also showing them a large amount of respect, because you're showing them that you know that they can understand their own issue. You trust that they can pretty much heal themselves. You pretty much are like, you know what, you're smart enough to do this, you're wise enough to do this. I'm just helping you know this. I'm helping you remember this. I'm trying to help you build your own self-esteem up, your own self-confidence up. That's what it means to be a true healer, right? You're just being a conduit for them, right? You're just pretty much picking them up. Like they forgot how to walk and you're showing them, hey, it's like this. And then you hold them by their arm and you walk with them. Or you're teaching them how to ride a bike. You run with them, and then when they keep riding it, you let go, and then they don't even know that you let go. And then they ride into the sunset, you wave goodbye, and then you go about your business. Right? That's how we're supposed to do it, man. We're supposed to do it big like that. Now, some people, they're not always going to be so gracious. They're going to fight against you, right? But you have to realize that you're the one helping them. They'll try to get it to where like they're helping you because they'll start to feel insecure. They don't want to feel vulnerable. They don't want to feel like they're in a position of being helped. And there's nothing you can do about that. Like, you just got to let them be by themselves. If they want to come back, that's up to you. If you want to help them again, it's up to you. But have control over your own essence. You don't control, like, all right, that's like a total different like discussion. I have to think about that a little bit. Like, control versus love and stuff like that. It might say it's in this book. It probably should. I think I saw it, but anyway, let's keep reading. I'm rambling. I need to think about it before I could really like explain the concept. And I can't really think right now because I'm thinking about other things. Let us turn to an example to illustrate this issue. Take parents who want to help their children with problems they encounter. Due to their experience, parents can often make better assessments of the consequences of certain actions than their children can. On the basis of this knowledge, parents often warn their children they want to save them from harm, and they advise them to do what they think is right to do. This may seem like a good way of helping from the mind's point of view, and in some cases is very reasonable to do so. However, very often, if a parent would tune into the child from a silent, intuitive place, the parent will find out what the child truly needs from them is something else entirely. What the child often needs the most is trust and reassurance of the parent. Trust me, let me be who I am. Let me make mistakes. Let me stumble and keep your faith in me. When you connect to your child from a place of trust, you are in fact encouraging them to rely on their own intuition. This is so crazy. Let me read this again. When you connect to your child from a place of trust, you are in fact encouraging them to rely on their own intuition. That's how you actually parent. You tell your children to depend on the father, to depend on the mother. Let them be your guide. I'm only here to lead you to them. You don't need to helicopter parent, because all you're going to do is have, them depend on you for everything. Why would you want that? Why would you not want them to depend on an external source? You depend on the external source, don't you? So the best way to empower them and make them unstoppable is make them depend on the internal, internal source, but the eternal source. I'm getting confused, like getting tongue-tied. Have them depend on Father Sky and Mother Earth, right? You're supposed to lead them to them. At first, yes, they're going to depend on you as their physical parents, but after a while, you have to teach them this is what you do. Like our people before, colonization and stuff, we literally taught our children to depend on the earth for all things. And then we would introduce them to the Father in all things. That's what we're constantly teaching them. We're teaching them to depend on the earth and depend on the heavens for everything that they need. Everything. All we're here to do is lead them in that way. Oh man, that got me like real passionate. But yeah, I want to see I want to see our children in such a healthy position to where they truly can feel loved. They can truly feel loved when you see them for who they are and trust that they can make a good decision. Trust that they are as good as the Father has made them out to be, because they are. Now, this society and this environment eschews many things. It truly does. But I guess I'm more so talking in ideals, maybe. Maybe this can literally be done. I don't know. I'm not a parent yet, so I don't know. But this is definitely the ideal. And this is what we should be moving towards. Let's keep reading. This may help them make a decision that feels good to them and that is understandable from your point of view as well. However, if you try to make your child do something from the notion that you know better, your children will sense distrust in your attitude, and this will cause them to resist you even more. See, when you're pretty much trying to like force, like, I mean, listen, certain times you do have to, right? But their main diet should be trust. Their main diet should be trust. That's really what this is trying to say. The main feeling that they should get from you is trust, that they will make the right decision. Because honestly, if your parenting skills were good enough, then why shouldn't they make the right decisions? You're not only showing distrust in them, you're showing distrust in you. You know? Because children are very intelligent. Maybe they're not physically intelligent yet, but they're actually very emotionally and spiritually intelligent. Maybe not even emotionally intelligent. They're spiritually intelligent because they just came from the spirit world. So they can pick up on energies very easily. They're influenced very easily because they're very in tuned. So it's more than what's actually literally being said, right? They can read what's behind the scenes. They can. But let's read. Children read you when you offer them assistance. It is in the nature. My back. Sorry about that, guys. I'll wait for you guys to come back in. Just a minute, and I'll reread it. First disconnect I got. Hey, I agree. I just recently read something that said if babies could talk, they would tell the secrets of God. Oh, yo. That's a great quote. All right, let me read this paragraph again, and let me stand. Oh, my back kind of hurts. I need to do some stretching, but let me just read this again. Children read you when you offer them assistance. It is the nature of the child to be keenly aware of your emotions behind your words. They can sense your underlying fear or judgment, and they will often react to this emotion instead of your own words, or instead of to your words when they react with aversion. I don't know why that word's tripping me up. They seem utterly unreasonable. Oh no, my phone's at 20%. However, I might start walking back, honestly, because I'm already a long way from home. But however, the parent may be acting too reasonable, meaning they do not recognize their own underlying emotions and are not trying to connect to the child in an open and honest way. To do so, the parent will have to let go of their preconceived notions and really open up to the emotional reality of the child. From genuinely listening and to the cares and concerns of the child, a bridge of communication can be built. I mention this example because it is so common and easy to relate to, because we all know how difficult it is to support your children from an attitude of trust and openness. And of course it is. I'm never saying this. I never say things to judge anybody, guys. Like, if you've made, like, parental, don't take it that way. I'm only saying this so we could do better, right? That's all I ever do. Never try to accuse anyone of anything. Are we back? Are we back? Let me just wait for like 20 seconds. Ugh. Okay, let's read. It is about letting go of your ideas of what should be, your wishes and desires, and truly letting the other person be. To envelop someone else with a space of openness and true heartfelt understanding is to offer real healing power to somebody. Often what really helps the other is your total acceptance of how things are. It is when you are not trying to change something from the level of the mind that you truly connect to someone and open up the doorway to love and compassion for them. You guys hear that? That's how you truly open up to people, is by surrendering, right? That's how you truly show. Is everyone like, I don't know if everyone's leaving because they're literally just leaving or my connection. I don't know. But I'm gonna keep going. There's a lot, honestly. Let me see. Yeah, there's no way in hell that we're finishing all this time around. And my phone's at 20%, so I think I'm actually just going to stop here. We're on page 133. We'll probably continue. Maybe we might even do this tomorrow. I don't know yet, but if we don't do it tomorrow, then we'll do it next week. But yeah, guys, I'm happy to do this video for you guys again. I know it's been a really long time. But I'm happy to share this information. I don't know what's going on in the the quote unquote YouTube streets or anything like that. Haven't been paying attention. Really don't know. Don't really know about what's going on like in like current events even. I have heard that they're trying to do their little civil war right now. They're gonna make a lot of moves as far as like their one world government from the fall to the winter time. So that's going to be pretty interesting to keep note of. But other than that, I've just been kind of doing my thing, been enjoying the new sunlight that the Father has shined upon me. But yeah, I've just been chilling. Have a lot of stuff that I want to go over, obviously, but that's always usually how it is. One day, guys, I'm really going to go over everything that I said I would go over. So just be patient with me. Thank you for, everyone who has been rocking with me. And I'll stay on for a few more minutes. Just can't wait for, us to be through everything that's happened to us. But honestly, I think I'm going to focus on just enjoying the journey, because after, a lot of my prayers got answered a few weeks ago, when they did in such a sporadic and unexpected way, literally got blindsided in the best way possible. Ever since that's happened, it's made me realize a little bit more, and I usually have said this, but I really am starting to internalize this, is that sometimes the journey in life is better than the actual reward. And it's not literally better than the reward, but if you can enjoy the ups and the downs, you'll really enjoy the reward. And the reward will always come, because Wakan is righteous in all of his ways. There is no unrighteousness in him. He is our rock, our foundation, our fortress. There is no unrighteousness in him. So all the good and the bad, take it with stride, take it with love. And when he actually does reward you, it's gonna feel even better, because you've appreciated him even in your times of darkness. You were rocking with him, you had faith in him, right? Show your faith to him. When things happen, praise him. Say hiya, hiya, hiya. Scream it to the top of your lungs. Because just know that just means that the reward is going to be that greater. When bad things happen to you, know the reward will be that greater. And all you have to do is show your obedience. Even if it's dark right now, after every rainy, stormy night comes a beautiful sunny day. It always comes. It always comes. The most beautiful days come after the worst of storms. Just remember that, guys. But I'm gonna get out of here. Appreciate everyone who stopped by. Don't know why they keep cutting off my live stream, but it is what it is. Thakanki, may peace be with you.